And we are live. Good morning, Warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto. I'm your host, Isaiah Jackson, here to bridge the gap between cryptocurrency and the community, Monday through Friday at 10-ish. A little bit under the weather today. Going to be short of a short show for today, simply because we've all seen the news. Bitcoin's going crazy right now. It's sitting at about 66K, and we'll go through the prices here. A lot of people are excited. As you know, we have seen the ETF rollout basically become a success. And as far as price, the number go up technology. And Bitcoin is sitting today at $66,126, up 6% on the day. Ethereum at $3,533 is up 3% on the day. Binance at 418 is up 1% on the day. Solana sitting at 132.58 is up 2.8% today. XRP at 65 cents is up 5.8% today. Cardano at 78 cents is up 8.7% today. Dogecoin at 16 cents is up 20% today. Oh man, the Dogecoin army coming back out. And Avalanche coming in at number 10 is 43.60. And if you need any evidence that bull markets are a hilarious time, Shiba is number 11 in all cryptocurrencies in market cap in the world. We're talking about stable coins, cryptos, tokens, and even Bitcoin itself is number 11. Shiba Inu up 27% today. Crazy. So some of the recently added crypto hunters coin, Metasaur, Tatsu. Again, you're about to get flooded with more coins. I mean, it used to be 21,000. Anybody remember the 21,000 cryptos? Now it's 2.2 million. How fast that expanded with a lot of copy and paste. Pepe up 46% today, trending. Children's Aid Foundation, and of course the last one, Floki, which was sort of like a Shiba Inu cousin, so to say. But what I want to focus on is the fear and greed index. We are now, people, in extreme greed. We were neutral for a couple months, waiting for the ETF. We started seeing greed, and now we're sliding over into extreme greed, where people are basically making plans with their money. They're talking about what they're going to do during the bull market. Bitcoin's going to $1 million. I've seen Bitcoin to 5 million. I've seen people say that $1,000 will make you $1 million in the crypto market, which is possible, but a lot of people may lose their shirt. So a lot of big news today as far as price. Now, overall news, I can't help you there because as far as for most people, a lot of people are building, a lot of people are in the industry looking at innovations, but not a lot of news coming out. Not a lot of huge things. However, got to make sure we get some of it in there. For example, Bitcoin NFTs make a comeback in weekly sales, flipping Ethereum. So for those of you who may have heard, there was a Ethereum Denver conference not too long ago. And there's still people that actually think of, Ethereum as, viable. However, as we've stated before, it's like the tortoise and the hare. Whenever people ask you about Bitcoin and other cryptos, it's like the tortoise and the hare. Everybody knows that. Even kids can understand it. I use that analogy whenever I speak about Bitcoin versus crypto. Whenever I do like summer camps or talk with kids, you use the tortoise and the hare. The hare, of course, moves fast and breaks things like most technology, whereas the tortoise is just slowly moving along. And everything that these tech companies, which is what I call them, these crypto projects do, Bitcoin just comes and adopts it later. And of course, because it has more security and more of a network and more user base, it actually comes out better. So Bitcoin NFTs, they posted a year-to-date record daily sales volume over the weekend and even beat out Ethereum for the week. I've seen, again, I don't hate anybody's belief or whatever crypto or whatever army you're a part of or whatever tribe. I don't care about that. The biggest thing with me is that when I've spoken with people in Ethereum, they always, quote stuff like, we have more developers, we have, more fun with NFTs and with tokens and with DeFi and all of these things. And now that Bitcoin has it's been pretty quiet. I will say that. I haven't really heard much detraction because, again, I was saying this in 2016. I was saying it doesn't matter what anybody builds. People are going to build it on Bitcoin because whatever is the most secure layer one is always going to win out. So it is what it is. NFT sales have just surpassed Ethereum 7 days following the sudden spike of Bitcoin Ordinals-based NFT collections, led largely by the collection Node Monks or Node Monkeys. I'm not sure if that's a mistype. NFT sales rocketed 80% week over week to 168.5 million, with three of the top five best-selling NFT collections for the week being Bitcoin ordinals based. And I want some people to remember, ordinals launched, and as it says here, I was just about to say, is ordinals launched in January of last year. We're talking about a year and some change, and it already took over. It already is doing more volume than Ethereum, which is what I was, basically alluding to, is that whenever Bitcoin has some sort of update or innovation or change to the Bitcoin improvement process, whatever was built before it, technology wise, is basically gone within a year to 18 months. As far as the overall volume, because it's like, well, if I can build it on there, cool. But if I can build it on Bitcoin, it's better network effect. It's much more secure. And actually, if you want to introduce these types of different technologies to a older crowd, more reserved investment crowd, if you're talking about, hey, VCs buy my NFTs, or hey, VCs get my tokens, if you build it on Bitcoin, that's almost a slam dunk. Ethereum, Solana, maybe. I mean, you have a chance, but if something goes wrong, much like we've seen with some of the other projects like Terra Luna or others, then you're sitting there holding the bag. So let's see. Uncategorized ordinals here was number one. Node Monks, Pandora, Natcats, Tap, NFT. Oh man, Creeps by Overlord. The bull market is back, people. I mean, I've seen some names and stuff. I mean, Cat with Hat, Dog with Hat. I mean, I've seen. I literally read everything I can about every type of project, just to soak it all in, because people, I'm telling you, enjoy these moments, because it won't be as much fun in the future. We'll have fun talking to our grandkids about back in the day. You won't believe all of these different projects that were there. I mean, look at some of these project market caps. CryptoPunks, of course, is the biggest one. The Bored Apes Yacht Club did very well. But if you slide on down here, you start looking at Miladies, Bitcoin Puppets, Frogs, Creeps, Pudgies, Mokers. I mean, good gracious. I mean, this is as some people say, this is what happens when you open up the free market. Whenever you allow people to create and build, you're gonna get some silly shit, and I just take it all in stride. So this was the first PFP style NFT collection on the first chain ever, giving a great competing narrative, which speculative investors could now be buying into, which is what I'm saying. It took a while for more hardened investors, or long-term investors, to get into Bitcoin. It took ETFs to do that. It may take a little bit more time, but if you start saying I'm building on Bitcoin, which I think layer two is probably the most bullish industry, or sub industry, I should say, is layer two. Because if we say we're building on Bitcoin, we're going to make it where you can use it for finance, where you talk about things like stacks, and you talk about other layer two projects. Of course, you got a lot of Bitcoin maxis that don't like it, or say it's an affinity scam, or say that it's basically you're mocking Bitcoin's use case. I don't get into all of that. People have their own philosophical background. Just look at what works. If it's working and you can get investment, for most people, that's all that matters. So that is the basis of Bitcoin NFTs, making what I would say a huge comeback as far as the industry. So moving on to our next and last story. Like I said, very short day, a little under the weather. I can't even see the chat. So shout out to everybody who's joining in. But yes, so next story we have AI ETFs will power a decade-long gold rush for Bitcoin, coming from Michael Saylor. And some people may say, hey, why is Michael Saylor able to have so much pool, and he hasn't been around as much, and it's great that he had the money to buy all this Bitcoin, but why is he the one that always is sort of the leader in speaking? I'll just tell you, even though he started later, he did what I always tell people who came later, is like, you have to put the work in. And you can, I mean, you can hear him speak one time and you can say, okay, he's definitely done the research, done the work, and he's good. The problem that I think most people have is that you see some random 22-year-old that's been in the market for 3 months, and all of a sudden he's a guru with a course selling for $5,000, and you're like, where did that come from? So AI ETFs, as he said, he stated this, I believe, at Bitcoin Madeira. He says institutions will compete to capture as much of Bitcoin's ever decreasing supply as possible until the end of 2034, as 99% of Bitcoin will have been mined by then. And if you want to know how short that time period is, if you can remember 10 years from now, 10 years ago, you can think about 10 years from now. 2034 is not long ago. 2014 was just here, I swear. That was around the time I started. So it seems like it flew by so fast that 2034 will be here in no time. And yes, 99% of Bitcoin will be gone in 2034, and Bitcoin is not set to end mining until 2140. So you'll have literally nation states competing over satoshis at that point. It won't even be a whole Bitcoin. It'll be competing over satoshis in order to try and get as much as possible. And the mining industry isn't going anywhere. These countries holding Bitcoin aren't getting rid of it, and ETFs aren't getting rid of it. I mean, this is as bullish as you can get. I think Bitcoin is a lock. In my opinion, Bitcoin is a lock for at least 10 million, and most likely, in my opinion, we'll get to 100 million at some point. We'll see if that happens, but it'll have to be some sort of life-changing event. But spot Bitcoin ETFs have triggered a decade-long institutional gold rush for Bitcoin, which will be aided by the rise of autonomous artificial intelligence, according to MicroStrategy co-founder and executive chairman Michael Saylor. During a panel discussion at the Bitcoin Atlantis conference, which a lot of people went to, shout out to everybody who went to Bitcoin Atlantis, Saylor argued that the launch of spot Bitcoin ETFs have entered a period of high-growth institutional adoption. I think they were in the Bitcoin Gold Rush era. It started in January of 2024 and will run until about November of 2034. So again, this is just the beginning, people. I think we were starting to see. It's a foregone conclusion that Bitcoin's here to stay, but I think it's starting to rub off on people that FOMO is real. I mean, when people have a fear of missing out and they have millions of dollars or maybe billions of dollars, that's when you start seeing certain buys and big pushes for Bitcoin that we've seen. One of my mentors, Max Kaiser, actually stated he thinks that people in the Middle East, Qatar, more specifically, is buying billions worth of Bitcoin, and people don't realize it until it's too late. So again, that'll be interesting to see. As it says today, roughly 93.5% of the 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be issued have been mined, according to Buy Bitcoin Worldwide. That doesn't mean that they're gone. I think some people equate mining with it being gone. A lot of noobs. It means that it's been mined, meaning it's in the market. It's somebody owns it, somebody's trading it, somebody's using it. Saylor says that spot Bitcoin ETFs are currently only serving as a distribution channel to 10 to 20% of those interested at the moment, but he sees this rising upward to 100% once banks and institutional warehouses start facilitating Bitcoin trades. That's going to be crazy. When they can buy via their bank, their institutional warehouse, their prime broker, they will make a $50 million decision in 1 hour. And I think that's definitely coming very soon. He also says he believes almost all banks will eventually be pressured into custodying Bitcoin because their largest clients demand it. You're going to see resistance drops, he said, adding, there will be a day when Bitcoin blasts past gold and trade more than the S&P index ETFs. And he's basically sharing things that we've said over and over for the past 6 years now, 7 years. And honestly, for anybody who's been in the space, I don't think anybody says no to that. Nobody doubts it because they see the game theory at play. They see why Bitcoin is valuable. The people who are against it, in my opinion, in social media, they're just engagement farming at this point. And then the people in person that you may meet that just like, oh yeah, I'm still not getting what Bitcoin is or why it's used. At this point, I don't know. It may just be me, but I'm at the point of calling these people idiots or disingenuous, simply because if you just want to be a contrarian, that's fine, but go over there with that shit. The facts are there. The proof is in the pudding. I don't know how many euphemisms I can use to describe it, but that's literally all you have to see is the fact that every single bank is trying to figure out how to take custody. ETFs are already here. But I do want to discuss one thing, though. This isn't actually a story, but I did tweet about it yesterday, some of the attack vectors that may come. And again, I've never been a huge fan of the ETF because I don't think we need it. The Bitcoin network doesn't need it. One thing to look out for is, we have rapid development of CBDCs. And of course, the ETF has allowed people to cash in, cash out. They just have to have the Bitcoin on hand. We talked about the ability to have, the type of banking we had before, where they don't actually have the Bitcoin that they're speaking of. But another attack vector may actually be that in order to take out that Bitcoin in cash, it'll have to be in a CBDC. And in order to attract people to the ETF, to attract clients, to pour all that money into basically dead Bitcoin, because it's not moving. That Bitcoin that they own, they're not selling it. They're not getting rid of it, especially BlackRock. They don't need to. You essentially are giving your money in order to receive a CBDC back. Because you're not getting Bitcoin self-custody. I hate to, tell people don't get into the Bitcoin ETF because, again, some people may want to make cash, but you're thinking short-term. Think long-term. Think as the whales do. Think as the power players do. I'm lucky enough to be mentored by a few. And one of the things that they brought up over the years is that there's a huge honeypot for people to think that I am getting money from Bitcoin, or I am basically investing in Bitcoin and the price goes to holy hell. See, I did great. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And then they send out the email saying that, oh, yeah, the new CBDC has been developed. In order for you to withdraw, we're going to make it fast and easy. You set up the CBDC wallet and we'll have your withdrawals in less than 24 hours or less than 10 minutes, whatever they can say, 5 minutes, we'll send it, it'll be there. That will entice a lot of people into the ETF market. So if you're talking with family, friends, and they're talking about, hey, what do you think about ETFs? You can tell them what it is, and you can also warn them about it. To my opinion, it's just a giant honeypot. I use the example of, I always use mob movie examples. I think they're the best teaching tool outside of school. Is when Joe Pesci walks into the room thinking he's about to get made, much like a lot of Bitcoiners are super happy, like, oh man, we got an ETF. We're prime time now. We're about to pass gold and all. Calm down, man. You didn't just, they didn't just up in one day just allow Bitcoin to win. Trust me, there is a bigger play here. So when Joe Pesci walks in the room and then he thinks he's getting made, gets shot in the back of the head, that's exactly what's going to happen. If a lot of Bitcoiners right now, they're putting on the suit, they're talking to their mom, getting kisses from their mom, telling everybody they're about to get made, and don't realize they're about to walk right into a trap. So that's unfortunate, but I think people who have been watching us, people who have been Bitcoiners for a while now, they see this, they understand self custody, they understand no keys, no cheese, and I'll leave you guys with that today. That's our show for today. Appreciate you guys. Like I said, sorry I couldn't interact as much. The chat did not load, but shout out to you guys, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Cheers.